Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the rundown. This is, of course, episode 6. Chelsea's, what are we, C2s versus Berwick. Ace, how are you doing, my friend, this evening?
Yeah, well, hopefully this will be our second last episode. Obviously, next week being the first week of the finals, and the week after that, if we are lucky enough to make it to the granny, we'll be doing a special grand final episode. So let's get the ball rolling. Lineup's pretty standard. Daz, Jess, myself, and Connor. Brooksy pulled a sickie on us late and failed to turn up. Yourself, Lukey Martin, Humbles, Ugly, Jimbo, Trav, Sweetie, and Janini. So we were pretty stacked. A lot of people out there. A few people sat on the bench. And anyway, it was a rainy, cold, early day. And we actually thought for most of the morning that we were going to get called out. And anyway, the sun
Yeah.
opened up and the heavens shined through. And we ended up getting a baseball game out of it. And probably not the result that we wanted, but we got there in the end.
Not the result we wanted, mate, but bloody enjoyable game, and it ended up being fine weather, I thought, for a lovely game of baseball. Good way to kick off the weekend. Ace, how's the pitching this weekend?
Well, I'll tell you what, so Wednesday night we were talking about mixing the mound up a little bit, the mound duties up a little bit, trying to save Connor's arm for the first week of the finals. And Daz was chucking some heat up on the mound, and it was pretty prevalent early that he was definitely going to be the man leading us off, and he did an absolute fine job on there. Didn't do anything too complicated.
He just nailed the strike zone.
Yeah, just put him in there, gave him opportunities to get hits, and look, for the majority part of it, we made plays, and but he did a fantastic job. And look, I think when we first started, you and I, Daz was up there throwing did some pitching, and he's sort of been put on the back burner, and it was a good little reminder for all of us that no, the man, he's still got a few bags of tricks, and he doesn't do too badly. And so hats off to him, and we might see him again in the finals with that effort. And secondly, we just had Lukey Martin coming in to do a bit of relief stuff. And look, he's been pretty solid all year in relief. And sometimes I think he maybe tries to throw few too many tricky pitches, but when he sort of just gets in the zone and gets in the rhythm, he's got a generally pretty good fastball and a pretty good slider. And he would tell you he's got a curveball, but that curveball hit me in the hoolies one time, so we won't talk about that one.
Very good. It was some excellent pitching on display, and yeah, great to see Daz opening for us. Any word on the upcoming semi-final, I should say? Are we leading off with Daz? Do you know, mate?
Look, I think we'll go back to the known drawn commodity, which is Connor. He's been throwing a hell of a year this year. Every time he's got up there, and he's led us off really well. So this was a bit of a tactical rest this week, getting Daz to start. So we knew that we're going to save Connor's arm strength for this Saturday, and we're going to need it because Mornington are a hell of a hitting team, and they're not unbeatable. Although we haven't beaten them, but they're not unbeatable. They have lost games this year, and I think Connor maybe when he's in fine form gives us our best effort to roll a win.
Heck yes, mate. And on the plus side, we're playing on their proper diamond, not the kids one up the back with the dodgy cones where they steal home runs off you, mate.
Yeah, but I don't mind those dodgy home. They've given me a few home runs as well. I know I've stolen a couple, but they've given me a couple.
You win some, you lose some.
Glass always half full.
How do we go in the field this weekend, mate?
Look, all in all, it wasn't too bad of a day. I know Connor and myself are probably kicking ourselves a little bit. We had a few errors out there, but look, the deck was a bit wet. It was a bit dewy in the morning, so the ball had definitely a bit of skid about it. Didn't sort of pop up sort of as normally would be expected, but look,
yeah, very muddy.
Really nice...
Just stuck.
Yeah, but anything that hit sort of the top of it and just sort of kept sliding. So there was one ball that came at me, and I sort of expected it to come up a little bit more, and it stayed real low. Sort of on our deck where I believe we've got like that Kikuyu grass is a bit thicker. The ball tends to have a little bit more bounce occasionally. But looking generally, we made some really nice plays out there. You can see a couple of throws. One of Lukey Martin's out in centre field. He made the throw to third base, and I was able to get the tag. We had a double play. I think it was Lukey Martin, forced play home to Humbles, thrown up to me, third base for the tag at third. Look, we did some pretty nice things, but obviously in the end, the errors probably cost us a few too many runs, and that's sort of why we got the result that we did. Like I said, maybe the early morning starts threw us off a little bit. The weather in the morning maybe threw us off a little bit. I'm not too sure, but everyone had a crack at making a little bit of a mistake. But at the end of the day, it's a team game, and we've got to make the best of those opportunities. When we got an opportunity to get an out, we should be getting them. Coming into finals, we can't be fielding like that. We got to be fielding like we were sort of at the start of the year. And I've made mention sort of a couple of times to a few years that maybe just a long season and the stress of the finals has sort of caught up to us a little bit, and maybe that's our bit of an issue. But I'm feeling confident that we know our best baseball's ahead of us, and we can play when we play well and we play rock solid. Like we're a pretty formidable team, so I'm hoping high hell that this is the week that awakens.
Indeed, mate. Speaking for myself, I can tell you I'll be having an early night Friday night, so I get a good big long rest in before the final.
Unfortunately, I'm going to the footy to watch Carlton and the second round finals, but I'll be laying off the booze and I'll be getting home and I'll be getting at least 8 hours. Trust me, because I'll be coming ready to play.
Beautiful work, mate. And did I just notice there in the footage on one of your tags out at thirds, did the runner take your hat off your head?
Yeah, look, I didn't realise, but after I think it was Lukey Martin said he said a few words, but look, the rules are rules. I'm allowed to make a play on the ball, and I was in position to make a play on the ball. I don't think he probably was expecting the throw to come in, and look, I'm a big unit. I'm interested that he sort of decided to maybe take me on. Maybe he was thinking that he could knock me out of the way, and he sort of just bounced off me a little bit. And maybe I pushed him off a little bit with the tag. But look, he didn't say too much to me because he sort of just waddled straight off. He knew he was out. It was a great throw by Lukey Martin.
Yeah,
I think we had another one of those by Sweetie and another by Humble. So all in all, I got 3 tag outs on the day, which was
top effort.
nice. Because I don't even remember picking the ball up, but when I hit him with the glove, I looked down in my hand and the ball was there. So on your bike,
Beautiful
buddy.
work, mate. Gotta love those ones. All right, let's check out the batting, shall we?
Yeah, it was an interesting day in the box. We tallied at 8 hits on the day, but I don't know, just never seemed to get any real momentum going. Sort of mentioned that I've had some struggles of recent, which I'm hoping to get over and get back to my earlier form from the start of the year. But we just I don't know what's happening at the moment. We're not punishing teams when we're getting on bases, and we're definitely not scoring enough runs. I think I said last week that we're scoring sort of 10, 15, 12 runs for most of the season, and lately I think this game, last game, the game before that, 3 games in a row where we scored under 10.
Mm.
And this was another one of them. Now, look, there was some slippery conditions. I'm not going to blame that. I know Lukey Martin took a tumble over first when he was round and round a second. I nearly took a spill in the batter's box on a error at third base, but yeah, it was an interesting day. Like I said, we got 8 hits, so everyone was sort of having a crack, but we just were punishing, which is a bit uncharacteristic for us. Because I know we're a team that can score.
Yeah, that we are, mate. Now, last time we played Berwick, I've forgotten this pitcher's name, but against this pitcher, he was quick pitching and you had some trouble with it. How'd you
Yeah.
go this time facing him? Was he doing the same thing or how did that work out?
Look, he did the same thing, and I was definitely a lot more prepared. Unfortunately, today I was hitting the ball, but I was just hitting the ball straight to the fielders. So
Yeah.
it wasn't an ace day. So I only got on base the one time, and I managed to get one over to third base. I didn't see what happened. I just turned the jets on. You probably missed it because I've run that fast. But once I got at first base, I had no idea what had happened. But yeah, look. He was tricky, and again, one thing that I did notice, and a few tips that got passed down to me was like step out of the box and stuff, and so was doing that and sort of like taking a little bit of control and just sort of being mindful of that's what he was going to do. And I think sort of most of us were ready for that. And
Yes.
look, but he still did some tricky things. Like I know at one stage I was standing in the box, I was ready to go. He stepped off the mound. He brushed the sweat off his brow, and then he stepped back on the mound. And he started pitching straight away. I was like, and he threw a little loopy curveball, and I was
Yep.
like, wow. Like so, he was. Look, Mickey Wern. He's obviously
Seasoned veteran.
a seasoned veteran who knows what he's doing, and he's obviously pulling out bags of tricks. And
Yeah.
we'd love to get him down to the pond and maybe pass on some of those tricks to a few of us because yeah, sometimes we need him, and we definitely probably need him coming into finals.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, hats off to him. He kept us honest all day, and look, that third baseman of theirs, he was a pretty good baseballer as well. I think he had that big, massive double right in the last innings that got him up.
Oh, yeah, that guy was hitting him well. Yeah.
Yeah, he was hitting them really well all day. So look, and I sort of said to him after the game, you look like a side that should have won a lot more games than they did, and unfortunately, it just didn't come together for them. But it did for us, and we're moving on, and they're going home.
Speaking of moving on, let's check out the stats, the batting stats this week, Ace. How did we go?
Yeah, like I said, it was only your lovely wife who had the multiple hit day. Other than that, we only had 6 runs scored, and that's just not enough. And part of that is again getting down to training. Let's keep working on things. Let's iron these things out,
Mm.
and that's the only way we're going to get better as a team. And in total, we finished with 8 hits for the day. Jess, Daz, Troy, yourself, Lukey Martin, Ugly, Travis, and Sweetie all collecting one each. And our run scorers were Daz, Jess got two, myself with one, Troy, Lukey Martin, that was it. And but a big shout out, we also had a few stolen bases on the day. So Ugly and myself got two, Janine, Drew, Daz, Jess, and Lukey Martin all had two also.
Nice work, everyone.
So yeah, so when we get on base, we know how to move around them, and we're going to need it. We're going to need it this week.
Heck yes, we will. All right. What about the pitching stats this week? How did the pitching go?
Yeah, look, so Daz got up there. He threw 3 innings, 4 innings pitched, and Lukey Martin had three. So look, I was super impressed by Daz. I
Yeah.
think I don't know how many more kind words I can say about the man. He impresses me so much from the moment that I got down to the club. His willingness to sort of take players on and help them out and stuff like that. And I love to see him up there having success. Just seeing him up there throwing like that means lets me know that next year we're moving into summer. We're probably going to be seeing him up there. He's a Swiss Army knife for us, and we'd love to see him having success. And Lukey Martin just building on some of his success for the year, and we're hoping to see him throw some good innings against Mornington as well.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. As you already said, that's the bats we needed to work on this week. Certainly no problems from a pitching standpoint. Let's go over to the ladder now, shall we?
Yeah, so unfortunately, all my best plans to try and move up into that third spot to get us to play in Moorabbin didn't pan out, and just so happened that Moorabbin actually beat Mornington, which brought them back to even keel on the points ladder.
Yep.
Yeah, so we end up finishing fourth. So be it, and we'll move on to Mornington,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we'll give them a shellacking.
Oh, yes. Which, of course, we'll be able to cover next week here on the rundown. But let's wrap it up now, shall we, mate, with that final score? What was it?
So we ended up the game 6-9 with a loss, and you know what? Let's just say we went in a little bit probably unprepared. We probably thought that we had an easy win. I know I certainly did, and unfortunately we weren't able to play our best baseball, but that's all right. 2 losses leading into the finals is only going to light the fire in our bellies a little bit more. And
It's always darkest before the dawn, Ace.
yes, let's get up there and let's give Mornington a good hiding, because that would put us. I'd love to get us into the granny and love us to get there, because we've deserved it as a team. And look, we've heard around the league, everyone just seems to praise the Chelsea Dolphins mindset of baseball. A lot of people have been saying,
Oh, it's not for our dolphin calls?
no, well, I think a few people maybe like the Dolphin calls, but it seems to be the camaraderie and the mateship and the laughs that we have out there. The feedback that I've sort of been hearing is that what a group of people, what a team you've got there. Who all just love getting around each other and having a good laugh and having a bit of fun. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to look at us as probably the good guys, and the rest of the league as the bad guys, and the good guys always win. So let's
Woohoo!
go out there and give those one-eyed pirates a shellacking.
I love it, mate. Great work this week on the rundown. A reminder to all the viewers out there, the full game is available, and the link to the full game is in the description of this video. Once again, a shout out to Trav and Drew for supplying the cameras, making this footage and this very show possible. Thank you, guys. That'll do it for this week's rundown. We'll see you back next week for the rundown of the semi-final, hopefully. Winners and grinners. Thanks, Ace. See you next time, mate.
All right.
Running down a dream.